Hello everyone, welcome again to the channel. Today I want to discuss with you a subject that is about the Gnostic philosophy, and I'm going to use the example of Ormus to explain some esoteric principles. So let's get started. So according to the Gnosis, there are three kinds of knowledge. They are Exoterism, Mesoterism, and Esoterism. So I'm going to explain what are the difference between them. Exoterism, according to the Gnosis, is everything that is related to, let's say, the material world. So you can be talking about material success, social status, health, self-improvement, virtuous behavior. So trying to talk about this, let's say, in a positive way, if you have some exoteric practices or exoteric teachings or exoteric books, they will be talking about something that you can do, for example, to improve yourself, to have a better relationship with people, maybe anything that is related to your body, to have a healthy body, healthy life. In everything, they are giving you advice on how to change your behavior. So this will means that this is just material level. So this is the basic. There is nothing really negative about it, but whatever you do in this area will not really change your life. It will not change your life in a radical way. You can have a better behavior, have better results in life, but in essence, it's not changing who you are. After that, we have Mesoterism. According to the Gnosis, Mesoterism includes spiritual beliefs and practices in general. So you can include here a lot of different things that will include astrology, Kabbalah, numerology, meditation, yoga, beliefs about ghosts or UFOs, Bigfoot, whatever you think. And again, there is nothing really negative about it. If you do it in a positive way, you will have good results in your life and it will somehow improve, it will help. It's somehow in between. That's where the name comes from, meso, which means in the middle. And what is important to understand is that Mesoterism or mesoteric practices, they will not change who you are. They will somehow help you understand some things about yourself, about the universe, about how some things work in our world, but it will not be a radical change. And finally, we come to esoterism. Esoterism is any spiritual practice that will lead in the end to something that is working with the three factors of consciousness revolution. So that means willful death, ego death, soul creation, consciousness awakening. So any teachings that you find online or in books or from a person that is giving you a lecture, whoever this person is, if he or she is talking about willful death, if he is talking about how can you eliminate your defects, how can you awake your consciousness, how can you create your soul, this is called willful death, and this is one of the three factors of consciousness revolution according to the Gnosis. And the second factor is the second birth, which is actually sexual alchemy and spirit creation. Sexual alchemy is very, very important, and it will be the difference between any sexual advice you get somewhere else and what is the most effective way to use alchemy. Sexual alchemy will really transform your body, physical body, and will also allow you to create superior bodies that will allow you to function in a different way. So when we're talking about spirit creation, we're dealing with second birth. Sexual alchemy, according to the Gnosis, will allow you to become born again. So to actual practice the real alchemy, this is one of the three factors of consciousness revolution, and this is on its own real esoteric practice. And the third factor is sacrifice for mankind, which basically means leading others to their own self-realization. Teaching, this is not something for everyone, but what it is important to understand is that the three factors should go together to be effective. For example, if you do only sacrifice for mankind, some people are doing, they are doing sacrifice for mankind, but they are doing this with mesoteric practices or even with exoteric practices, and it counts. Let's say to deal with karma, you will receive some kind of positive results for doing this, for helping people. Nothing goes without reward. However, it will not change who you are in a radical way, while the esoteric work will actually change who you are in a very definitive and effective way. And again, you can do willful death, second birth, and if you're doing willful death and second birth, sacrifice for mankind is optional. Because I'm saying this because not everyone has a call to be a teacher, nobody can force you to do it, but if you really want to achieve the highest degree in the esoteric world, then you need to do the third also, which is sacrifice for mankind. And that's exactly what we're teaching in the Gnosis, where our Gnostic teachings are esoteric teachings. And now I want to mention to you the case of Ormus. If you don't know what Ormus is also called monoatomic gold. They call it, according to the traditions, mana, or it is somehow through alchemy associated with the Philosopher's Stone. And monoatomic gold, what it is gold that didn't bind with another atom of gold. Usually gold and many other chemical elements associate with other atoms to create clusters or molecules. So in this particular configuration, chemical physical configuration, gold stays in a monoatomic configuration, doesn't associate with anything else, so stays in this state, and this creates gives the gold in this state different properties than the properties you find in what you can call the metallic gold. And what I'm going to mention to you is this method about how to create Ormus, how to create or how to obtain Ormus, that it is already present in some source. So in this case, for source, we're going to use sea salt. What we are assuming is that there is some Ormus in this sea salt, and then we will see what is the result. So the procedure is very simple. You will take 1 liter of water in a glass container, 3 spoons of sea salt, and then you will have another container with 1 liter of water in a glass container and 3 spoons of sodium bicarbonate. Of course, you will mix separately the sea salt with the water until it's fully dissolved. So if you do this properly, when you mix it, the sea salt with the water will be dissolved and the liquid will be perfectly clear, completely transparent, unless you have some impurity particles in the sea salt, which sometimes happen, but it will be almost completely transparent. You will also mix separately the sodium bicarbonate with the water to dissolve, and it should be completely transparent, if not almost completely transparent. Then after you have that, you will add the water with the sodium bicarbonate to the water with the sea salt. So it is important to do this in this way and not the other way around. So you will have, let's say in the left, the water with the sea salt, and then you will have on the right the water with the sodium bicarbonate. So you will pour this into this one. If you do it the opposite way, it will probably not work as effectively. So anyway, after you do that, you integrate both. Of course, you will need to use a bigger jar because you're going to mix 1 liter, so probably you need at least 2 or 3 liters container to do this. You stir it and you allow it to settle. And after you allow it to settle, after some time, it will create a precipitate like you see here in the photo. So this is the final stage. The precipitate will look something like this. It will be some white substance in the bottom, and then you will remove the water from the top. And that's it. It's very simple process, and it works very effectively, and anyone can do it at home. It's completely safe. You have no risks for your health or anything. And that is the process of how to create Ormus, or how to extract Ormus from a source. Like I said, in this case, the source you can choose is sea salt. And now let's go to the different interpretations. So the exoteric interpretation is, if we use chemistry to explain it, we say that sodium bicarbonate causes the trace metals bound to the sea salt to be released or precipitated. And you can even create an equation to explain the reaction, and you will see exactly why this is happening, and that is also everything that is related to the physical world will be creating this precipitate, and people will explain, well, in the precipitate is everything that was bound to the sea salt and the sodium bicarbonate, and the sea salt together with the sodium bicarbonate will be diluted in the water. So when you let's say remove the water, you're removing everything except the precipitate. So that is the physical explanation. And then you can have for example saying that trace metals will have some positive effect on your health, because everyone needs trace metals or trace minerals, and they will be useful for your health because it will complement your diet, because we don't have enough trace minerals, for example. The mesoteric interpretation is that we start to attribute some physical and spiritual benefits to the precipitate. For example, Mesoteric practice will be, if we go to the way we are preparing it, you can see that people recommend you should cover it with aluminum foil to protect the precipitate from negative influence from electrical fields, from Wi-Fi radiations, from magnetic radiation. You should put it under in a dark place for 8 hours. You should do the collection before the full moon. This will be in the level of Mesoterism. So the mesoteric process will teach you how to do it. You can put a crystal here, and you can be dressed in a certain way. You have to be in a certain mood. You have to pay attention to what you're thinking. Don't do this when you're angry. This will go into the mesoteric part of the process. And when we interpret Ormus according to the esoteric teachings, we will learn that actually Ormus, or the Philosopher's Stone, in reality is the sexual alchemy. So what they want is the Philosopher's Stone, and this Philosopher's Stone is something that is spiritual. Even if physically it is possible to create the Philosopher's Stone, and it will have some physical and maybe mesoteric benefits, even it's possible to have esoteric benefits. However, the real Philosopher's Stone is about sexual alchemy, it's about the creation of the spirit. So this is an allegory that is telling us what the alchemists were doing and how the alchemists were trying to get the Philosopher's Stone, but the Philosopher's Stone is not really a real rock. It is an allegory of the internal process that you go through to the second birth to create your own spirit. And I'm going to recommend this book that is called Ormus Modern Day Alchemy by Chris Emmons. I will put a link in the description of the episode so you can find this book. The book is very good. It's very long book, and it gives different information, different processes on how to get Ormus from your source, and it will give different use of different substances to create this. I'm just giving the most basic process, but if you're really interested and want to learn more about it, you can get the book and use it to learn different things. It's actually very useful. I highly recommend it. And finally, what I want to say is that if you want to be a real alchemist, you can do it. In the Gnosis, we give you all the information, all the practices you need to be a real alchemist and create your own Philosopher's Stone. And that's the main goal of the Gnosis. That's what we want to achieve. That is our ultimate goal. And anyone can do it. Everyone is welcome to participate in our studies and do this with their own life and change their life in a positive way, in a radical way. So that's all I wanted to say for now. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. And as always, I want to remind you about the opportunity to help me support my work. In the description of the episode, I include information about different platforms you can use to support me with donations. If you want to, you can share this episode in social media and subscribe. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for watching.